We started.
Yeah, we restarted.
You're not in charge, Danny.
He just is. He's
You
the
just-
moderator.
We just
Yeah, you guys told me I was.
it's 3
William's the
1.
moderator now.
All right, we restarted. Danny, I give you the moderating power.
God damn it, Williams. Now we put you in charge.
Okay, cool. Welcome to SWEN. This is a podcast where we talk about news from the last week. I'm Danny, and I did, in fact, deep throat Red Moscato 2 nights ago.
My name is William, and he did.
My name is Solomon, and the red Moscato was in my hand.
My name is Daniel. I didn't see any of it. I missed out.
Well, that's a bummer.
Bitch boy.
See, now it's fine. All right, cool. So we're going to talk about news from the last week. This is our second episode, so we do, in fact, have a week previous to this that we can reflect on. It's crazy. We made it to our second anniversary, guys.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been, what,
It's been
2 years?
William, you
since
want
we
to go on
started
a
this
honeymoon
podcast?
right now?
Where we going?
What is the second anniversary? What metal is that?
Guantanamo.
Precious. Guantanamo.
God.
The second anniversary is the Guantanamo anniversary. It's when you ship your
I don't wanna go
significant
there.
other to prison.
Oh, we're going to have a honeymoon in Guantanamo Bay.
I like that idea. Okay, so backing up to last week. So we talked about Papa John's last week.
Papa's in the building.
Papa's been in the building this whole time. I think we still have a Papa John's box in this building.
Probably. Yeah, we do.
It's
I'm looking at it
it's
right
just
now.
Domino's.
Oh,
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
see,
It's
we're
not.
progressive.
Yeah, we switched. We were like, we're making the switch.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Uber.
Yeah.
We're
Hello, Domino's.
You got rid of Uber for Domino's.
I just asked for delivery and I get in the delivery guy's car. I'm like, take me away. So after last week, the quote unquote alt-right, I don't know why I use quotes there, did in fact, basically they adopted Papa John's as their de facto pizza sponsor. So Papa John's as a corporation was very uncomfortable with this and was basically like, hey, Nazis, please don't buy our pizza. So I just like that. I like that they wised up and were like, look, we may hate protesting, but we're not bad enough that we like Nazis.
Yeah.
They're the middle ground here.
When have Nazis ever, listened, though, you know?
But now they have no obligation to buy their pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Now Papa John's is losing the NFL market and the Nazi market. This is going to be really bad for them financially.
Yeah.
Dang.
I like it when Nazis get called out on, stuff they support. I believe Richard Spencer was like, oh, the band of the alt-right, the official band is Depeche Mode. And the head of the lead singer of Depeche Mode just came out and said, like, no, that's not true. I don't know where you got that from.
I really
That's
do just
complete
want
bullshit.
I want to know how they choose these things.
It's just some guy who's like, I really like this shit.
Yeah, just
we'll
like,
make this official.
wait, well, it's like official how? Like, are they having like the local community meeting of the alt-right and they're like, we just really all like Depeche Mode. Let's make it a thing.
Well, I mean, it was like the Pippi the Frog thing. They just hijacked it.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, how do they decide what they hijack?
I'm telling you, some guy is
Like,
just like,
'cause-
this is awesome.
Because like with Pepe the Frog, at least it was like they were using it for memes. Like, I just don't think anybody in the alt-right ever used Depeche Mode for anything. They were just like, this is it. Same with Papa John's. They were just like, this is our pizza now. We own it.
The official country of SWEN is Zimbabwe.
Yeah, exactly.
Write that down.
Exactly.
We've all been there. This is where we record
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yes.
Look us up.
Live from Zimbabwe.
We have our own city, SWEN, Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
At least one of us is a warlord.
At least.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know if Zimbabwe has warlords. I would assume probably
I don't
not.
I feel like they're a pretty cool country.
Yeah, Zimbabwe's all right.
They got zebras in
William,
Zimbabwe.
rate Zimbabwe on a scale of 1 to 10.
Damn.
I'm not familiar enough with Zimbabwe.
That's
But
fair.
if I had to give it just by the name,
Mhm.
I'd say like a 7 out of 10.
That's a great name.
It is.
Yeah,
Zimbabwe's
it's a great name. Top 10 names.
I want to know what Zimbabwe's dollar is called. I don't know why that jumped in my head, but
Zimbabwe's what?
dollar, like what their equivalent of a dollar is.
Yeah, what's the exchange rate?
Zimbabweans.
The euro, possibly.
They're-
It's gonna be 8 Zimbabweans.
Zimbabweans.
They use
Okay,
yen.
Anyway, thanks to Papa John's for stepping up
And for sponsoring
and
this
for
podcast.
sponsoring this podcast. I think we should just start keeping Papa John's boxes and just start being like, hey, we like you guys. You should sponsor our podcast.
We don't have to keep the boxes. We can lie.
No, no.
We just ordered
We
12
gotta-
Papa John's pizzas.
You know what we need to do?
Right now.
We need to like read coupon codes on this. That'd be good.
Do you mean like coupon codes? Is like we're taking coupons and just reading them
Yeah,
out
we just
loud?
read out like the coupon codes. Then people can write them down, and then they can like get a discount.
I
on
don't
their
think
pizza.
they're like exclusive enough.
Welcome
you
to
know?
Coupon Cast.
Coupon cast.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility of
I
marketing.
just don't know. Like it's one because it's not like they're. It's not like we're using our own coupon code. Like go to Papa John's and type in SWEN, but it's
Right,
just like
we're
we're
just
just
using
reading
another-
Yeah,
like
exactly. We just use theirs.
uppercase X, lowercase V, 50. And
Exactly,
That's,
exactly.
If we're not getting money from this, why are we sponsoring?
Well, I'm just saying we could do it as a solid.
He's
to
right,
Papa
we
John's.
That's
just-
good.
Show
It's
our
just a marketing
respect.
idea.
show our appreciation for Papa John's for doing nothing in particular. Okay, cool. Well, speaking of Nazis, this is not even a real story, but I like the way that it was phrased, which was just that Taika Waititi, who is he made Hunt for the Wilder People, he just made Thor Ragnarok. He did an interview with Vice, I think.
Yeah, it was Vice.
It was Vice, yeah, okay. And they were like, "What are you doing next?" And he just said, "I'm making a comedy about Nazis," which they were like, "That's very relevant." He's like, "I wrote it several years ago." He's like, "It's cool that I." And he said, "It's cool that relevant again." It's like I don't think it is that
it's
cool.
like direct quote is Nazis are cool again.
Yeah, it's.
The interview was really cool, though, honestly.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was a good interview. That was like seriously. It's funny that that's the headline because it was
Yeah.
like 2 lines of the interview.
Right.
And right at the end of it too.
You know how clickbait works, but I think that Taika Waititi, if anybody's going to make a comedy about Nazis, it's got to be you.
It's
I'm
gotta
fine
be
with
him.
Nazi
It's gotta be.
comedies, but I don't know if I have that position. People got mad at Larry David because he made a Holocaust joke on NSL.
Yeah. Oh, we could have talked.
But like
yeah.
he gets to do it. Like he's the guy.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
Like you can't tell like a Jewish comedian he can't make this Nazi joke.
Right.
He's like the one guy who's allowed to make the Nazi joke.
I feel like it was more the outrage was not that he made a Holocaust joke.
Yeah, it was a
It was that it was
concentration
like the
camp joke.
sexual harassment. Like
Was it?
yeah,
Well, 'cause,
because
like-
he like alluded to that as like. A
Did you
reason.
listen to
Oh
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I did see the joke.
I talked to a Jewish friend of mine actually, and I was like, "How do you feel about that insinuation that like he was saying like, yeah, it's a Jewish problem," and he was like, "I don't really know." He's like, "I just don't. He's a comedian. I don't really care much about."
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think that it's interesting. I don't know. I think how do you make a Nazi comedy?
Oh, first you got to get Nazis. That's a big portion.
You're gonna cast real Nazis?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I wouldn't do that.
Maybe not you.
Are you a
Taika
Nazi?
Waititi though.
No, I wouldn't. I
I don't know
Nazi.
I just don't know his premise. Like I don't know what they'll be doing.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
it doesn't say. It's just like he's like I'm making a comedy about Nazis, and that's why I'm like that's why I think the story's in. Because if he told me what it was about, I think it'd be less interesting. Because now I get to wonder what the fuck that movie is.
Like it could just be like Nazis going to buy some shit, you know? Just going like to the store.
What else did he do?
He did Hunt for the Wilder People. He did something the Shadows. Weird.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
that was an oddball of a movie.
Yeah, he's
In
an oddball.
His interview, he was like, every time I'm going for career suicide,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's.
and it won't work.
I really think that he's like somewhere between like a Wes Anderson and like a. God, I can't remember the other guy's name. But he's like New Zealand Wes Anderson. Like he's really weird.
Yeah,
Balls
he's
to
very
the
strange.
wall every
Yeah.
time. I support it.
I really liked Hunt for the Wilder People.
I have not seen it.
It was good. I recommend it. Before we get this whole Nazi thing underway, before people are like, he can't ever work again, please watch that movie. Watch it now before you have to feel bad about it later. Yeah, I don't know. I do wonder what a Nazi comedy would be like.
Maybe like, Nazis doing funny shit.
Did you ever watch Look Who's Back?
No.
Back again.
Okay, it's a German film where they have a guy and he dresses up as Hitler. And it's like a mockumentary.
It sounds great already.
It really is a funny movie, but it was made a couple years ago, probably 4 years ago now, 2012 I think. And he dresses up as Hitler. Those are our neighbors. He dresses up as Hitler, and he walks around Germany and just talks to people as Hitler. And they it's crazy because a lot of them were like, you had the right idea.
Oh yeah.
And the guy's clearly like he is in character as Hitler, and then it really did precipitate all this weird nationalism in Europe. Mm-hmm. But it's just so how do you not realize that a comedian dressing up as Hitler, he's making fun of you?
Yeah.
But people are just yeah, this is really cool what you're doing. It's a good movie. It's really
right on,
interesting.
bucko.
Yeah, but I highly recommend the movie. It's a good movie. It's on Netflix probably.
I think Thor Ragnarok is the first Marvel movie I've been somewhat interested in a long time, considering the reviews are great and this director.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, people are like, "Oh yeah, it's just a straight up comedy."
What is the number one thing that you are that pulls you into this movie that you're I want to go see this?
It's different.
Yeah, it's different, and I think it looks really just balls to the wall, just fucking insane. No boundaries at all, except for maybe I feel like they were yeah, include this in the storyline and make sure you allude to this happening soon, but just go nuts. And that's what it looks like. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I think that's I think that maybe that's the position. I care a lot about comics. I read a lot of comics. Mm-hmm. Comic cast soon. But I think it is if you look at the Thor movies, they've been meh.
Yeah, I didn't like either of them.
First one was okay, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Second one was pretty boring. Mm-hmm. And so I think that those very middling movies, Marvel's all right, we got to make this third one really count. So we're just going to hire this guy, and then we're just going to not give him a whole lot of direction. And just let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
I wish somebody would do that to me,
You got to prove yourself.
Yeah.
No.
First. That's just how it works.
But this is how I'm going to prove myself.
You're going to prove yourself on a Marvel property?
Maybe.
That's...
They're just
I think, now, Marvel has realized that they're just, they're, super deep into the cinematic universe, that they're all right, fuck it. Who wants to do whatever? Get fucking Edgar Wright for a movie,
Oh,
I don't give a shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to do Wasp Man? What?
Another guy? They're filming Cloak and Dagger here.
Really? Wait,
yeah,
here?
in Zimbabwe.
Oh, yeah, in Zimbabwe, yeah.
No, but yeah, in New Orleans.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
Yeah, they're and one of the people who came and talked to my group was he was working on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I tried to get on and they wouldn't hire me.
Oh.
They were we heard about your podcast.
Oh, yikes.
Oof.
I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
What is Cloak and Dagger?
Cloak and Dagger is a comic book series by Marvel about a duo who die in a car crash and then are revived mystically, how all Marvel things do. Mm-hmm. And it's a girl and a guy, and the guy's name is Cloak and the girl's name is Dagger, and she controls light and he controls dark. That's a really simplification of their powers. Yeah. But the thing was I don't remember if it's this in the original comic, but it's insinuated how they died is because they're an interracial couple.
Ah,
yeah,
that's interesting.
So, yeah,
I would like to see that movie when it comes out.
I didn't even know they were making
It's a show. It's gonna be on.
Okay.
Oh.
It's on some weird third rate because they have Hulu's getting Runaways,
right,
and then Netflix are there. It's on Fusion or something.
Oh, okay.
It's
gotcha.
weird.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's I think it's they're shooting that here, but I think that Taika Waititi is a great director, and I'm really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok.
This is where I ironically say I don't support interracial couples.
Why is that ironic?
Because we're in Zimbabwe, right? Or something. Not because I am mixed race.
It's hard to explain this joke
It's
on an
very
audio
difficult,
podcast.
yes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I said ironically first.
Okay, cool. I don't think you can get away with everything by just being like, I'm ironic. Which brings us to our next story. So we're going to talk about the Louis C.K. allegations.
Oh, God.
And the thing is that we do not want to just become a podcast where we talk about who is in trouble for sexual misconduct every week. But this one's kind of important because we're kind of a comedy podcast almost. And at least two of us do stand-up comedy. And Louis C.K. is a big name. And also it was very specific and interesting what he has been doing. So Louis C.K. got called out by several women.
5.
Was it 5?
5.
Yeah, okay,
5.
sorry, you're right. In my head, 5 incidents, but it was more people, but it was only 5 times. Because he got called out by, like, Courtney
Yeah.
Cox
I don't know.
and David
Headline
Arquette.
said 5 women.
Yeah, I think it was 5 times he did it, but I was saying there's more witnesses. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm
Anyway.
mad.
You're
The
talking
headline-
about
the
witnesses, and then
It's
Daniel's
5
talking about the victims.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anyway, so he's been in some cases asking, and in other cases just kind of like going for it.
He asked. He just is a comedian.
Yeah. So like he likes jacking off in front of people while they watch, and he doesn't really. He doesn't really care if they're interested, I guess. But he'll just be like, "Hey, can I jack off in front of you?" And they're like, "Oh, haha, you're Louis C.K. That must be a joke." And then he just does it. And like also, he asked people. He was saying that it was the one with the Courtney Cox and David Arquette were the producers on this thing. And he was talking to somebody who was just working on set. He's like, "Hey, can I masturbate in front of you?" And she's like, "What?" So it's not even like he's in sexual situations. It's just like he's just asking people to ask him, I guess. I don't know. I
It's
think
like a casual conversation.
and then he did it multiple times.
I don't know how many times he did it. I know he didn't do it a few times. So they're like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, they said
He was
I
like,
think,
okay.
I think it was twice they said that he actually
Yeah.
these two people saw him do it.
Yeah.
And then there's one that was a rumor from several years ago that was, I don't know, this one wasn't included in this more recent New York Times article. It just came out this morning. But there was one several years ago that involved a different comedian that I remember.
Yeah. Well, there's been reports since he started with different people with like production and crew being like, yeah, he's being kind of weird.
Yeah.
Which is why I never really like. I find him funny. Don't get me wrong, but I've never ever really vouched for him.
Yeah. But I don't think I've ever watched. I've watched one of his stand-ups all the way through, and then I've watched like when he's in things like Secret Life of Pets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't watched that movie
It's
for
a
the
shitty
record.
way to expose
But-
yourself.
He's a guy found a
Ironic.
shitty way to expose himself.
I
Am I
know,
right?
I said it.
Ba-dum-tsh.
Oh, we need like a soundboard.
We can add this in post.
Yeah, we have a post soundboard.
Yeah, we're going to have a sound of a nuke dropping. What that was.
No, we're not.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's interesting that he just thinks like that's like, because I think that also we were talking about this earlier, that it's sometimes you hear sexual allegations and it's just like, yeah, he harassed me, and you're like, oh, maybe the efficacy of that claim is or isn't true, but like with this one, it's like there's no way 5 people independently were all like, yeah, and then he asked me if he could masturbate in front of me, and then he stripped totally naked and started jacking himself off. It's like that's a very specific thing. You can't make that up.
I really wonder what that conversation is like just another female actress going up to one being like, hey, I gotta tell you something strange about Louis. Like, wait a second, same thing happened to me. Like, oh, you guys too? Like,
Yeah, I do. I do wonder if like people are reading this New York Times article and just be like, oh my God, it wasn't just me. Like, that's
yeah.
how many times do you need to jack off in front of other people?
I'm sure it's his thing. I don't think there's like a
it
number where he's
definitely
going to
is
be
his
like,
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
It's like a quirk. Like a quark. How do you even-
Quark?
I don't know how to say the word.
His kink?
Quirk or
I
kink
feel like
would have worked.
like a
I'm
quirk
kink
is-
shaming you,
it
by the
was
way.
same
Asking
thing.
people to jack off in front of them and then doing it anyway is, you know. I don't know, man. It's fucking weird.
It's pretty gross. Did you see the thing about his film though?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
So
I think
I'm gonna
that
give it a little rundown
yeah, go
for
for it.
people who don't know. So he has a film coming out called "I Love You, Daddy," and it's getting pretty good reviews. And I was genuinely excited. He wrote, directed, and starred in it. There was a screening tonight at New York's Paris Theater, but it's been canceled due to unexpected circumstances. And also his promotional appearance for the film on Friday's episode of Late Show with Stephen Colbert was also canceled. And in the film, it involves a filmmaker's pursuit of an underage girl. And there is also a scene in which a character masturbates in front of others.
Yeah, I mean, but if you watch his stand-ups, he talks about this shit all the time. Like, this is not like, oh, I can't believe Louis did it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that makes sense.
He is like obsessed with masturbation.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is so that film,
It's about Woody Allen, I believe.
yeah, it's an homage to Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Because I actually just watched the film Manhattan for the first time, like maybe 3 weeks ago when I was at work. And it's like, it's so funny because you watch that movie, which is about Woody Allen, and he's a writer, and he pursues like a 17 or 16-year-old girl or something, and it was like watching it, and you're like, in hindsight, this is really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like when it came out in 60 whatever, you're like, oh, this is like, oh, it's a weird art piece, it's about like the human condition, and then you're like, after everything, you're like, oh no, it's just about how Woody Allen just likes underage girls.
You're like, oh, this is just gross. Never mind.
Yeah. Theoretically, this could have been a great idea for a movie. It'd be cooler if it wasn't almost a documentary.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because then people were talking about the new Louis C.K. movie, and they're like, that's a weird, it's a weird person to do an homage to, I guess, if he is, in some ways a sexual predator, and you are also,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. I think maybe that's kind of like a far conclusion to draw to
Yeah, that's just different.
yeah, but I do think that it was bad timing for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't think he was like, when are they going to find out?
Yeah.
But also I think it's funny because Woody Allen is also now doing a new movie.
Oh, great.
It's a Wonder Wheel that is also about a person falling in love with an underage girl.
Awesome.
Woody Allen,
Great.
calm down.
So it's Woody
Yeah.
Allen is doing an homage to himself the same time other people are doing homages to him, and it's just like, maybe we should just really consider that Woody Allen probably fucked several underage people.
Yeah, it's not good, guys.
Like,
It's not, William.
It's really bad.
Not. Yeah. I think
Needs to
that's the
get
truest
help.
statement.
You can't be doing that.
Right.
it sucks, man.
This industry's really gross.
it
It's really
is.
gross.
I was in I am a film student. For the podcast listeners, I am a film student. Like actually enrolled, not just like I'm a weird like, oh yes, I'm a student of the arts. But we were talking in class today, and everybody's just like, yeah, it's kind of sucks that like everybody's garbage.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I'd like to believe there's some guy in the back like, no, I love it. Everybody's garbage.
We
Give me
did
that potted plant.
we did we did talk about how like we're like, but hey, everybody's leaving. That means there's job openings now, right?
Yeah, I'm hopeful that, with the younger generation, there would be some sort of change.
Yeah.
I'm banking on it. Really banking on it.
And our teacher was like, "Do you think it's because there's less women in film, like in higher roles?" And we were like, "Well, that'd be cool if they got more women in higher roles." And then it was like, "Oh, but also somebody just accused Mariah Carey of sexually harassing people, so maybe it won't change that much."
I don't
Which
think she's
I
in the
don't-
same place, though.
I just don't know the details of that one to talk about.
Neither
but
do I.
I do think that that's
I know it was her bodyguard. That's all I know.
it was her bodyguard.
I think so.
Oh,
From like
it wasn't the
two
bodyguard.
words I might
The
have
film.
retained.
No, okay,
Yeah, that was a good movie.
it wasn't.
I never saw it, but it has a good soundtrack.
It does have a good.
Wow.
Shout out to Whitney Houston.
Exactly.
Shout out to Whitney Houston.
Hope she's listening.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Hollywood fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
Okay, name the person No, this is a bad idea. No, whatever. We're doing it anyway.
God damn it.
Name the person who you would be most heartbroken if you found out that they were a sexual
That should be
deviant.
It can be anybody.
I mean, like, I was thinking in the entertainment industry, but I mean,
Yeah, be like,
obviously not your
My
dad.
dad.
But yeah, like a public figure.
Oh, I got mine.
Go for it.
Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah,
That happened.
I could see
I
that
would be
happening.
like,
could
I would
see
be
that.
betrayed.
Yeah.
Because like whenever Kevin Spacey, whenever that happened, I was like, "Are you serious?" I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Forrest was running from his past the whole time.
Exactly.
Gross.
Go, you go.
I want Danny's answer.
Oh,
Danny,
my
you
answer? I was
Yeah.
still thinking about it.
Oh.
I was asking.
I'm going with Hannibal Buress because that'd be really.
Oh,
That'd
that
be-
would be
that'd be
very
fucked.
ironic.
Because my whole thing with Louis C.K. where I was like, okay, he was like in my top 3, but he wasn't like my number 1. So I could be like, okay, I can reamp, you know. But like if they like snatch my favorite, I'm just gonna be sad. I don't need that.
And it would be, and it's also because like Hannibal Buress was the guy who was like really railing on Bill Cosby. So if
Yeah.
Hannibal
it'd be
Buress, like,
super ironic.
that'd just be fucked. Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
Oh god.
I don't remember.
It's okay. I'm confident.
I think that if it had to be like a big celebrity, I'd be really upset about it. I think that I was thinking about this the other day. Maybe this isn't my top choice, but I think Larry David would be really bad.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, that would be.
Especially after the SNL thing. It's like, man, if something comes out about him now after he was joking about it, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Mine probably be Paul Thomas Anderson because I'm a huge Paul Thomas Anderson fan, and that would just break my heart because I know he's been accused in the past, but the time that he was accused, they were like, yeah, your accusation is actually complete bullshit. The time doesn't match. Like they went through her phone and shit, and they just found it false. So I was like, dodged a bullet there, but I'd be pretty mad. Maybe even Spike Jonze. That'd be fucked.
Oh man, if
That'd
they
be real
did that to
fucked.
Spike Jonze,
I'd be so
Wes Anderson
heartbroken.
too. You're talking about
Oh my god.
If they did that to Wes Anderson, I'd fucking die.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes. That's my second one. I've decided. I'd be real upset. I'd be like, his taxes now this.
Who would if you would pick somebody who you're just like I pegged it.
You think it would
Like you're like I'm not surprised.
So many people.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was
I
like,
feel like
most
so many
people with a
people.
beard in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I really don't want it to be true, but if somebody told me that Quentin Tarantino did it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Maybe.
I don't know anything.
I feel like the most Quentin Tarantino would do would be like
Murder someone.
sucking on toes.
Yeah, well, that's why I was thinking about it. Is like, because now though, because everybody knows that he has a foot fetish.
Mm-hmm.
If he makes a weird comment about somebody's feet, it is now sexual harassment because
Yeah.
we are all aware that that's what he's
It's
implying.
like, damn it. They got me.
He's like, you need to change your shoes, and they're like, "Are you?
What do you mean?
What are you trying to do here?"
Is that a comment or a sound effect?
I don't know. It just came out.
It just came on out. That's
Came
unfortunate.
on out.
Dang.
But also, like, with that point, like, I also think, like, with the Louis C.K. thing, the weird thing is because he specifically asked to masturbate in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
still sexual misconduct either way. If somebody, like, goes up to, like, a lady and is like, you want to go back to my place, and fuck? And she says no, that just happens all the time. It's still a problem. But, like, when you specifically, like, you want to come watch me masturbate in the back,
Yeah, that's.
it becomes, it's slightly more odd.
And then also, I think we're like talking about like the phrasing they use in the New York Times is sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
Because it's not harassment. Because he didn't just say things to people like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you've got nice tits," but he also didn't rape anybody.
Yeah.
And he didn't
Right.
touch anybody. So it's misconduct because he was just in this odd middle area where he's just jacking off in front of other people.
Yeah.
And it, it's
He asked permission technically, not the one where he got completely naked. Well, he did, but he didn't because he's a comedian. He said
It's not like-
it's like
it's
you
not
mind
like-
if I whip my
yeah.
dick out? And they're like, haha, and then he whipped his dick out.
And I also think that that's interesting because he says they whipped their dick out, but it's also like he got completely like ass naked.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe even if I agreed to see Louis C.K.'s dick, I don't know if I want to see Louis C.K.'s man tits.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, I got man tits.
And
too.
like the
I
other
don't want
girl
anybody
who
to
he
see it.
did do it in front of, like he was like, "Can I do this?" And she was like, "Yeah," which is really odd.
Oh, yeah, that was a girl. She was like, I
Yeah.
don't know. At the time, I was just like, I guess that's part. What was that? It was on the Chris Rock show, I think. They
Yeah,
were saying it.
something like that.
Yeah, and she was just like, I don't know. It was like at the time, it was just everybody thought it was fine. It was just fucking crazy. It is.
That does go with like the power imbalances. It's like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be willing to say yes unless you're really about it.
And that was. Did you guys watch the documentary they just did about the? Oh god, I just forgot the name of the show. The documentary on Hulu about. He was the guy in Wayne's World that's not Wayne. Help me out. Dana Carvey. They did a documentary on Hulu about the Dana Carvey show, and that was one of the first shows that Louis C.K. was head writer on, and they made like a big deal about like, yeah, we got Louis C.K. before he was big. Yeah, it's so cool because we got Louis C.K. He was like a great, and like I wonder how many times now that like anything in the future is just gonna be like, we just can't.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like the Dana Carvey show is like not even related to all this other bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But like now it's like I can't even watch that documentary anymore without being like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Also, anytime anything happens, people are like, I didn't even like that person. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you did.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Everybody else has agreed they're like top 3. You don't get to be like, they weren't good.
I can say I think he was good. I think it was funny. But ever since I saw his first stand-up, I was not like a fan of him personally. I didn't like his personality. Really
Well, it's like I don't know if you guys follow like internet bullshit, but like I remember when we are internet bullshit.
Yeah.
But JonTron did that where he like made comments about women or whatever like a while ago, and people were just like, man, well, it's like you're like, oh, so we can all agree JonTron's not funny now. It's like, no, everybody thought JonTron was funny. He's a misogynist. Saying he's a misogynist is different, and that's fine because he made comments about women. But don't act like you didn't like him for years, and now everybody else is catching up to you.
It's always the most talented people. Sad to say.
Somebody made a point that I'm not sure I totally agree with, but they were talking about separating the person from the art or whatever, and it was like, we can't do that because like the fact that they were famous artists is what allowed them to do this. So I think they were specifically talking about Woody Allen at that time. Okay. But it was like
it was very confusing.
Maybe it was Kevin Spacey, but it was like we can't be okay with House of Cards now because like he wouldn't have been able to sexually assault people if he wasn't Kevin Spacey.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't know. To a certain extent, it's like by like if you remove artwork or anything, like, you're just hurting everybody at that point. Like people enjoy those things as to where you're like, well, you can't have those things now because that person was shitty.
Well, that's like I watched Manhattan, which is the Woody Allen film, only like 3 weeks ago, and I knew about like the fact that he married his own stepdaughter and shit, but like I just don't know.
Yeah.
It sucks because like people like I actually think that Woody Allen is one of my comedic influences. I love his films because I watched them before I knew anything about him. Like I watched Bananas when I was like probably like 4th grade, but now every time I watch something, like I said, I have to think in the lens of like, oh yeah, he did make this film about fucking a 17-year-old, and he did that in real life. So that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very confusing. Like, I think it's more like you should precedent it in the future, just where you shouldn't continue supporting somebody. But like, I don't know. Like, you can't not like
pirate.
Yeah,
Get on the Pirate Bay.
We're pirating anyway.
Hey, pirate this podcast.
Pirate this podcast.
Yeah, we just don't have download links right now.
Please
I like
don't
the
do
idea
it.
that you had to pay.
YouTube to MP3 this podcast. We're trying to get downloads.
Let's
I promise.
go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else. All right.
Out of Zimbabwe.
Out of Zimbabwe.
Here.
So speaking of weird shit on YouTube that you can download or not,
Oh God.
we're talking about Elsa Gate. This is the first I've heard about this. Apparently, it's been around for a hot minute, but it's this trend on YouTube that and I say trend. I don't think that's even correctly.
Yeah, please don't use that. It's not trending. It's not like it's.
Well, it's not like it's like a Twitter hashtag, but it is a
fad.
It's not even a fad.
Exactly.
It's a trend.
It's not a fad.
But
it's a
Y'all
trend.
into this
It's
shit right
actually
now?
a trend.
It's not a fashion statement, but it's where you take the YouTube algorithm, because YouTube has a thing where they cycle through algorithms for different audiences, and you manipulate the algorithm for the kids. So there's, like YouTube Kids, and you take that algorithm and you manipulate it by posting some video or something with kids as part of like your tags and things like Elsa and Spider-Man and shit like that. And then you include terrible content in it. Mm-hmm. So like there were some that I thought were like just kind of goofy. Like there was one where it was like Elsa and Spider-Man like get drunk or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's stupid, but whatever. But then there were some. Like there was one where it's a video of a girl getting injections in her ass, like vaccines, and you can tell that it's like. Have you ever had a?
Yeah, I've been shot in my ass.
Have you ever had vaccine burn?
No.
Where like it like stings for like a while.
No.
It's like needle burn, I think is the phrase, but like she's just like screaming while they like shoot her full of injections, but because it had like, also it's in Russia.
Of course.
I should say that the whole video is in Russian. But because they like put it under kids and like included like tags, it just like wasn't curated. And now like if you put kids autoplay, your kid might watch some video of some 13-year-old girl getting vaccinations in her ass while she screams bloody murder. It's like, man, I don't know. It's fucked up.
It is traumatizing.
I'm an adult and I watched that and I was like, this is scary.
From what I've read about this, the people who are doing this are making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
really good fucking money.
Because you can run ads on them.
Yeah. You can run ads on them and they will not get demonetized.
Yeah, that's just the other thing is that like, this is like they are showing disturbing videos to children and it's not demonetized. But as we know from like previous events, if you use bad language on a YouTube video, you could get demonetized because it's not family friendly.
Right.
So I guess we just need to, like, PewDiePie needs to start putting things like Elsa and Spider-Man in his tags, and he can say racial slurs all he wants.
Yeah, and then the money rolls in.
Woo! When we get that podcast money, YouTube.
Cha-ching.
I can say bad words all the time.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We're gonna put ours in.
Thanks, actually.
We're gonna put it in our algorithm to show this to kids.
Yeah.
Kids, listen to our podcast.
We're gonna call this episode "Spider-Man and Elsa Go to the Store."
Oh shit! I was gonna name it "Needles in the Ass." That wouldn't have worked.
You can. We can do it.
That's fine.
All right, cool. Yeah. So you guys, what do you think about like? Do you think that this is? I mean, clearly, this is something that YouTube needs to fix.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
What do you mean?
From a business standpoint, I think this is such a good decision. Like oh my god, there's millions of these videos.
Yeah.
There's just millions of them. And, the people who are like capitalizing on them, they definitely know what the fuck they're doing. And, kids are stupid, so they see a fucking colorful thumbnail with Spider-Man and Elsa, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna click this, and then there's just a girl getting needles in her ass. But these motherfuckers are making money from that, It's really fucking smart. Of course, YouTube needs to fix it.
I don't know. I just don't get like the content shock. Like, why does that need to be not kid friendly?
There's different theories about why they're doing this. Some people believe it's just like edgy people who are just like it'd be funny.
Well,
to
I
prank
feel
kids.
like because like if you do that, people like us are gonna go watch it, so it'll probably go viral to a certain extent.
I don't really want to watch it.
Yeah.
I understand,
I'm not
but
looking
did
that
you
up.
do it?
Not on purpose,
But you did. You watched the video. That's where the money comes from.
I guess.
And so I could see like the shock factor would make people look into it more, and maybe that could just get you more. But I don't know.
Well, it's like a lot of people think that it's like, it's like weird, like just edgy people being like, shock humor, like other dumb YouTube shit, and like it's like, double the comedy by showing it to kids or whatever, because some people think that shit's funny. I don't know. It's like every kid in your middle school is like, Google 2 girls 1 cup or whatever. But but other people think that it's like more nefarious. Like they think that these are coded messages to sell child pornography.
I've seen that. I've seen child pornography theories. I've seen like human trafficking theories. I've seen like the Russians communicating with each other,
like their number
foreign
stations.
affairs. Yeah.
I don't know,
What
man.
are the theory? How do you? I don't know.
Okay, so were you guys familiar? I was a piece of shit when I was younger.
Yeah.
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 Did you guys ever go to 4chan when you were younger?
No.
And there were
I knew
these
better.
Hey man, I came out okay. And there were these things called sync threads, and it would be usually on B, but it would be like mods are asleep, post syncs. It'd just be a whole thread full of pictures of syncs.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody who didn't understand it was like, oh haha, it's just this weird thing. They're pictures of syncs. What they were child pornography. If you downloaded them, you could unpack the image because there was a zip file inside the image, and it was how people were spreading child pornography.
Wow.
It's wild.
And so I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, because if you told me, like, I learned that way later, like, 8 years after this happened. Maybe not 8 years, but like several years after I'd seen the last of those threads. But I also am just like, I don't know that, like, if you told me like, hey, this is like some weird child pornography thing and I hadn't heard of that, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But like now I'm just like, I don't know, I fucking believe it, maybe.
Yeah, could be, honestly.
Shit's wild on the internet.
Shit is wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But also 4chan. Y'all got a bad record.
Yeah.
Get
I
off
mean,
4chan.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Stay away from 4chan.
Well, that's how they got the bad record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to 4chan all the time. I have no problem.
Arguable again.
Very arguable.
I'm a well-adjusted individual.
I don't know. We got to get rid of child porn, guys.
Yeah, wait. It's it's crazy that this is still an issue.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just think that's really interesting.
Who do I call? Get rid of child porn.
Yeah. Somebody called President Trump.
Just
Gonna need you to get rid of
just
child
don't do it.
Okay, but like I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah, but just like
I mean, I'm not an arsonist, but fucking fires.
I'm just saying, the people that are making child porn, just don't do it.
Our number one
It's that
podcast
easy.
listener
Alright.
demographic.
I thought you were telling me to
Any
not
child
do it.
pornographers out there listening to our podcast,
We're going to need you to stop.
yeah, just cut that out.
Yeah, please
We're, look,
calm down.
we understand that we are now the official podcast of child pornographers.
No.
No.
God damn it, we're like the alt-right.
That was the comparison. But yeah, just don't do it. Just if you guys could cut that shit out, it'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
It would be.
Do we move on?
We don't have anything to move on to.
Shit.
Oh, wow.
We're just at the end
Now
of
we're
this.
stuck at child porn.
Slow news week.
Yeah. If you guys could, never mind.
Nope, no, God,
That wasn't
no.
where I was going to
Yeah.
take
I don't
it.
care, no.
Yeah, tweet us some stuff you want us to talk about.
Yeah, you can.
That's where we fade to black in audio.
Yeah, you can tweet at SWEN podcast if you want us to talk about more subjects from the week. That'd be super cool because a lot of times we don't have time to read all the news during the week. I read a lot of news sometimes, but sometimes it's just not funny or interesting. I don't want to talk about Trump every week, like every other news podcast I listen to.
It'd be so much easier to not if you didn't just keep being a dumbass.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, political stance.
Call him out.
Listen, Donald Trump, if you're listening to this podcast,
We need you to cut it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
stop making child pornography.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not.
In my head, I almost just said, when do you think we're going to hear about Donald Trump's sexual harassment allegations? And then I was like, wait a second.
Whoa.
I wonder when.
I'm way behind on this.
Here's like, you just gotta grab him by the pussy.
That man is our president.
It's really not, it's just not allegations.
It's
just
not,
on
yeah.
video.
Yeah. He just said he did it. He was like, yeah, I did it. It's whatever.
Just locker room talk.
I think that people. I was in an interview with Ukrainian journalists once.
What the fuck?
This I wasn't in Ukraine. I was in the U.S. For anybody, a government listening.
You mean the Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Zimbabwe with the Ukrainian journalists, and they actually said that they were just like, so like, how does he keep getting away with this whole Donald Trump? And I was like, that was a good question. I don't think anybody could tell you the answer to that.
Because the Midwest is garbage.
Whoa.
My stance.
I think the Midwest is pretty nice.
We are the official podcast of the Midwest,
The Midwest.
When you
does
say
not
Midwest,
exist.
you mean like more Mideast.
like Finland.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean
not
like
real.
Midwest.
Where? Name one place in Midwest that's fine.
Minnesota.
Oh my God, that's not even Midwest enough for me.
Okay, name a Midwestern place.
Oh,
What do you think
that's
about
okay.
Chicago?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're not. No, they all suck.
All right, give me just. What's the Midwestern
I'll go
state?
Chicago. I'll go Illinois.
You think Chicago?
Illinois.
Yeah.
What's it called? Isn't Minnesota? Is that above Illinois or is that?
This is very top.
Okay.
Very
It's
top.
way up there.
Might as well
Alright.
be Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
got
I was
the
just
lakes.
curious because I was curious if it was like toward the west.
I'm more mid.
Northwest.
I'm going to Valparaiso, Indiana.
Mmm.
Yeah.
Google it.
Fuck them.
No.
All right. So are we done? You don't have
Yeah.
anything else to talk? Okay, cool. So yeah,
Hey,
we're all
we
good.
can talk about how the rooster is the national animal of France.
Yeah, no, we're done here.
any French listeners who apologize?
Yeah. I thought it was a snail. I really did.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. I got bamboozled. All right. So you can follow us at SWEN Podcast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, SWEN, SWEN. If you want to email us, just send us your business cards or anything. You can check it out. Ask SWEN Podcast at gmail.com. I don't know. I think that's all of our social media for right now.
If we get 3 likes, I'm gonna masturbate in front of William.
Please dislike this video.
We need a negative rating on this video, please.
Yes, please dislike it.
Only
Click with that dislike button.
3 likes.
Smash that dislike button.
Smash that dislike button.
No, y'all don't want to see me masturbate in front of William.
No.
It's an audio podcast.
God damn.
This is gonna be weird.
Subscribe, like,
Swen.
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 Swin.
When?
Swin.